Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome back to a new episode of your favorite K-Dramas podcast, What a K-Drama. I am Kathleen.
My name is Ilse.
And today we are talking about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. So, I have noticed as a drama watcher for how many years, Ilse? Loads.
Several.
Loads. I should have a loyalty card or some sort of pass, for devotion. And,
Like a punch card.
Yeah, so sort of. I honestly be winning already. So over my years as a K-drama fan, I have noticed a couple of things, and I thought that would be very interesting to talk about them in this episode. So the first one I want to talk about is how dramas have drastically shifted towards a more human and realistic perception of love and relationships. So that's the first thing I want to talk about here. Secondly, how more human some of the characters are as well. Not just relationships, also characters are different, are more
layered.
Yes.
3D.
There is a lot more.
Even?
Yeah. There is a lot more character development as well. So that is a yes. Mm-hmm. So with that, we chose a couple of dramas that kind of show that there is plenty out there, but I just took some of the most relevant ones I've seen over the last couple of years, that they are a mix of genres, of course, but they have that realistic undertone, because honestly, one thing that actually was throwing me off before is sometimes it was just too much fantasy for me. And I am a rom-com person. I love a happy ending. I'm not gonna lie. I do love a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
However, sometimes it's just too much sugar. Just give me a bit of spice.
You're ignoring all the red flags.
That too.
And
I honestly, what are red flags in dramas for me?
Actually, now that we talk about red flags,
yeah.
I'm seeing less of the wrist grabbing.
Oh yes, absolutely. That's one thing. Yeah, there is not a lot of wrist grabbing or there is not the creepy following. There is not as much of creepy following as before. It's I'm gonna follow you to your house silently. There is.
I love you, so I'm gonna be your shadow.
Yes, so that I'm not seeing
weeks.
as much as before. So I think that it's an interesting thing that we're doing. So I'll say let's just dive into each one of these dramas, and then let's just talk about what we think that this one basically they show that it's okay not to have a happy ending. Basically, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. Life, it's like that.
Heavy spoiler warning.
Yes, we are talking about the endings. We are talking about how things go down with these dramas, okay? So I'm going to start with a very popular one from 2022, and then many people hated the ending of this drama. I kind of liked it, I'm not going to lie. I was quite sad, but at the same time, made sense. So we're talking about 2521. So with 2521, it was directed by Jung Ji-hyun, and the writer was Kwon Do-eun, and it had big names. We're talking about Kim Tae-ri was there, Nam Joo-hyuk, Bona, Choi Hyung-wook, and Lee Jo-myung. So the cast, fantastic, amazing cast, and then it was a sports drama. However, what I liked about this drama is there is a lot of character growth. They all had their own goals that were all two of them, the Teddy's character and Bono's character, they both had specific goals. They were fencers, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then they had the goals. In the case of Bono's character, she needed money to help her parents. In the case of Hido, Teddy, her character was Hido, she wanted to prove herself. And she loved the sport as well, And then, in the case of Joo-hyuk and his character Yijin, he was just sad and he just wanted to, have a second chance at life because all of this happened in the middle of the financial crisis as well. So you have a lot of factors that what happened in the financial crisis. In the case of Nam Joo-hyuk's character, his family was literally broke. his parents had to get divorced, so the mother wouldn't inherit, or them wouldn't inherit the debt. This is very common. And then just like broke it off, and then the father went missing for a while. Everyone was blaming him, like Joo Hyuk's character and his mother and his mother for the situation, but they had no control over what was happening, you know?
Yeah.
So you see how he was processing all that trauma that came from, he was just a teen as well and being blamed for all of that. So you see how he goes through the fields and how Terry's character brought a bit of like light into him. Like how some people just show up in your life and they just give you a bit of like happiness, like, and then you just connect for them for a while. Yeah. And yeah, I like how that it kept it real. In the case of Teddy, she also had Kim Teddy's character, she had a bit of a bad relationship with her mother. She was a teen. We all had moments when we were teens, well, most of us, I assume, where the relationship with the parents, they just, well, we people get, it's like hormonal at that stage. They're like working out the stuff. Their body's changing as things, you know? So it's true, like hormones are kicking in, you are growing, you're discovering yourself. She was going through that too. She didn't have the best relationship with her mother, and that's okay as well. Because honestly, that's also quite realistic. It can happen, you know? What I like best about this drama is like how you see the growth of these characters. So we're talking that they were all friends through high school. Then Joo Hyuk gets with Teddy's character eventually, and then they just grow up together. And then they've changed. They have reconnected. They have broken up because she was also a fencer for the national team, and it all just keeps like flowing very interestingly. In the case of Bonna's character, I found it very interesting. Because her character needs to basically give up her nationality so she can play for a team in Russia that offers her more money. Because she needed to help her parents and she had that burden on her shoulder at such a young age.
Yeah.
So obviously, I was like, honestly, it's so human that she did, even though everyone hated her for that because she was really good at fencing. And she decided to give her nationality. Everyone was calling her like a Jew traitor and this and that. But it comes down to she had a chance. She needed the money. She took it. Anyone would have done it. And, you know, anyone would have done it. And in her case. So I really like...
I mean, she was dealing with the stress of being a teenager. Yes. So raging hormones. She had to go to school. She was training for the Olympics. And then she also had the financial burden on her shoulders. So that's...
a lot.
That's a lot for a teenage girl. Like, that's kind of crazy.
And the thing is that at the it was like she needed to compete. She needed to gain more money. But things happened with her parents. So she had to step up and become basically the breadwinner for her family. And many times when you have a career like that, you end up also becoming the breadwinner of your family because you're in a better position than them, professionally at least. So you end up doing that. So I like how her character brought that human side. You know, she wasn't really happy about it, but sometimes you gotta do your job because you need it. So I really like that her character was so well rounded. Yeah. I also really like for this drama how Joo Hyuk's character and Teddy's character sort of like at the end, spoiler alert, they do not end together.
And the world cried actual tears.
Yes, everyone was very angry on my TikTok about this, but
same. My TikTok was not.
But it makes sense because they were at different points in their life. Okay. Teddy's character, she was thriving professionally. She was in a good position. Her career was like growing. She was a champion. Joo Hyuk's character, Ji-jin, I think it was. He became finally what he wanted. He wanted to be what was it?
News
a journalist. Sort of like a journalist reporter, and he gets assigned to cover what happened in the States in September in 2001, I believe, right? So he gets to cover that and he needs to go there. And that gives him severe PTSD. You know, because he was there like at at the heat of the moment. It was like everything he saw, like people dying, he saw people being recovered, so all of that. So they both were at different stages of their life. He didn't want to share his trauma with her. She could not push him, and eventually they just went different ways, and it makes complete sense because now he wanted to become a journalist that covered sort of like that sort of events, because that's something that made him, I don't know if it made him happy, but he wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And then
I think what is interesting about this story is that they still loved each other, so, but the circumstances around it kind of caused them to break up.
They drifted apart. They still loved and respected each other, even though they were apart. They still thought about each other. They still respected when they were still in the relationship. They still respected their relationship and all of that. But eventually, what happened is like they just, not even their love could hold all of that, you know. Yeah. Like, she had her doubts as well because he wasn't the same. And of course he wasn't the same. He was going through severe PTSD, psychological issues because of what he's seen in these events. Mm-hmm. So I just thought it was very interesting how it's true. People, if you're at different stages in your life, you just broke it off. You just, drift apart because that's just how life goes. So I really like about that. Not everyone liked it, but I kind of liked how this drama focused on that aspect so realistically. Okay, other things that I like about this drama is how they show the reality of some friendships. Yurim and Hido, which is Bonas and Teddy's character, they were really good friends. Then they drifted apart during the Olympics because now Yurim was competing for like Russia, and then Hido was competing for Korea, and then they just completely lost contact. And I know they reconnected at some stage, but till the end of the drama, you don't really know if they're still friends or not. So I thought that was interesting as well.
I think that's definitely part of growing up. You kind of fall. It's like instead of falling out of love, you kind of fall out of friendship.
Yeah, and that's completely normal as well. Sometimes you just grow as a person and then you don't have the same interests, and that's completely fine as a teen. They met as teen. Many people can say that they're still in contact with their school friends, So definitely. That's like super interesting as well. I do believe that this drama, even though it wasn't the perfect ending that everyone wanted, with like marriage bells and all of that, it was still a really good and realistic end. Okay? Moving on to one that I tried to watch 7 times and did not succeed is Mr. Sunshine. This is all yours.
Yeah, so am I happy that Mr. Sunshine ended the way it did? Not fully. Of course, I want them all to have a happy ending, have the very stereotypical white picket fence, tons of babies, etc. But I think the way that this drama showed how you can love other people and like the sacrifice that you can make for other people is just incredible. And because of the way it ended, the way it did, it left such a lasting impact. And I was just, before the episode, I was reading like a couple of episode recaps, and I was like, this close to tears. Which might be hormonal, but still they were there. So the fact that I could feel this even after
a couple of years,
what, 2-3 years since I've watched it, I'm like, that's kind of crazy. So just a quick recap: Mrs. Sunshine was directed by Lee Yeon-bok and Jung Ji-hyun, and is also a TVN production. Same with 2125. Or 25-21. I think TVN likes
endings. They're like, we're not giving you a happy ending even if you want it. It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
Yeah, this aired in 2018, and if you have somehow never heard of Mr. Sunshine, that's totally fine. But please go watch it after you finish listening to this series. I hope I didn't spoil it too much. But this is also like a war series, so it makes sense that people pass away from several circumstances, and it's it all sucks because they were such incredibly written characters. Like, some of them you like hate to love to hate, but they're still like, there's like this shimmer of a good person in there, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah. It's that the few episodes I watched, I absolutely like head over heels for Yoon Suk's character. Honestly, that samurai slash a Korean Avenger, I was into it.
Man,
he is.
I am convinced it was like the shaggy hair with the mustache that just. I was like, okay, this is a win for mustaches. Like, ooh.
For once.
Well, the same goes for Byun Yohan's mustache. Like, this show knew how to do mustaches. Like, crazy.
I see, okay.
Kind of went off the topic here for a second. So, it's a very sad ending. But I think what is interesting about the series is that how their use of like language kind of predicted the ending, because Kim Tae-ri,
love that woman. She just keeps keeping it real with the things she makes. It's like insane.
Exactly. Kim Tae-ri's character, Aeshin, she is learning to speak English, right? Because some of the American settlers are there, and they're, it's a mess. But she's learning English from Eugene Choi, and one of the like terms that she learns is sad ending. And I was just like connecting the dots, and I was just like, ugh, I want to cry and like rewatch it and just cry
get into the feels of this drama.
Yeah. Anyways, I think there were so many characters in this show, can I also just say, but the variety of characters and like even showing that a small part of the resistance is still important in the big cog of the resistance is that's something very human. And sometimes people are just brave enough to do a little thing, but the fact that they're brave enough to do that little thing is enough for the ball to keep spinning, So I thought that was also very important to see, at least in a drama.
This drama is like really good. I couldn't finish it because it's just, I'm not into war dramas. That's it. Which is interesting because the next one I actually watched it, but it's in a different.
Maybe you should retry.
I probably would love it because you.
Maybe the eighth time is a charm.
Maybe. Maybe. Okay, should we move on to the next one? So the next one is My Country, The New Age. This one is a production from 2019. It's a period drama. Okay, so period dramas, all the ones I've watched normally end with happy endings for some reason because they're all very lovey-dovey, and then the girl gets to be with the king and whatever. But this one, no, really. So this one just a bit of like a background about it. It was directed by Kim Ji-won and written by Che Sung-dae. And it was a JTBC drama.
Oh, okay. TVN is not just
JTBC also keeps it real, okay? So this drama was set during the Goryeo period, and I think I might be butchering that, but I think it's Goryeo in the early Chosun, I believe. And basically this is just two friends that are learning how to be sword fighters, if that's the thing. They just... there's a technical term for that. I do not know it. But anyway, they're just learning how to fight for their country. And the drama is called My Country. So this drama keeps it real in the sense that, let's be honest, back then, everyone was probably going to die if they were in a battle. no one was safe of dying. It goes on to that. So he would have...
And if it wasn't on the battlefield, it was later on because of sepsis or like fevers and infection.
So in this drama we have Yang Se-young, his character was Si-hui, and then Woo Do-hwan with Nam Sung-hoo, and then So-hyun as Han Hyo-jae, and then you have like a bunch of other names that are like quite big, but let's focus on these 3 characters because this story is sad. So So-hyun's character, Hyo-jae, she kind of falls in love with So-hui, which is Yang Se-jung's character. This is all very complicated right now. Yeah, it's so many names. Yeah,
it's a tongue twister.
And then we have Do-hwan's character, Sun-hoo, also liking So-hyun's character. So,
we have a
kind
love
of,
corner.
but not really. Towards the end, Sung-ho and So-hui, they were like friends from childhood or whatever. However, they're both within the political issues that are happening in the country. They are both drifted apart. Sejung's
they're in separate
Sejung's character is thrown to the battlefield, and he learns how to be an amazing fighter. I mean, he's kicking asses left, right, and center. And then Sung-hoo's character becomes more like a political figure that still fights. So at the end, these 2 die.
There's no build up.
There is a lot of build up, but even if I can tell you that it was, some period dramas are just so political. It's like, who does this? Who does that? Someone is poisoning the king against the other person. And then they just have like, I can't go into detail and explain what is happening, but there's so much happening that we would need like 7 episodes.
All a big puzzle.
So, yeah. In this case, I like that, honestly, So-hyun's character doesn't even find love. She is like, okay, I'll just stay single forever. So at the end, you just...
Yes, girl, slay.
At the end, you just see her living in the country that So-hui's and Sung-ho's death had created. Because as you mentioned, just a couple of things might spark something bigger. And this was the case for this drama. Yeah. And it was just so sad. But on a side note, the cinematography was insane. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning, okay? Let's move into our rom-com. That it's not really a rom. Well, maybe a bit. But then it's not. Let's talk about Yumi's Cells Season 1 and Season 2. So... a bit of the background, okay? It's directed by Lee Sang-job and Yoo Sang-kyo, written by Lee Dong-gun, that's a webcomic writer, I believe, and then Sun Jae-jung and Kim Kyung-rang. This is a TV production, which always confused with TVN for some reason.
That's different?
Yes, it's a different one.
I'm just dumb, okay?
Oh my god. But this one is a 2020, I think the season 1 is in 2021, I believe. And season 2 was in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. But, we have a beautiful girl, Kim Gu-eun, then as Jubi. And then in the first season, we have the love interest being Eun Byung-hong as Koo-woong. And then on the second season, we have Ji-young from GOT7 as Yo Bobby. So, Yumi loves being in love. That's a fact. Okay.
I agree. Love for love's sake is beautiful. Love when other people are involved, usually a mess.
So, yeah, she just loves to be in love. It's just hard. That's the problem in this drama. She just loves to be in love. And then I love how the cells, and we have 2 episodes about Yumi's Cells that will go in detail. So if you want to know more about this drama, these 2 seasons, just check it, please.
Mm-hmm.
She's just, in the first season, she rediscovers where her priorities are. In the second season, she rediscovers what she wants in reality for life. In season 1, we see Yumi devoting herself to her relationship with Koo-woong,
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't really happy with her job. Her relationship, she was really hard trying to keep it because Koo-woong's, he just had no communication skills whatsoever.
None.
You know, then also she had to deal with his friends, with Park Ji-hyun, which her character was So Se-ji. She had to deal with Se-ji, which honestly, that friendship was a bit messed up as well.
How can you be so blind?
Yeah. So we see that in the first season, and then she wasn't having it, and she was like, "Look, your friend has a problem. I don't like it," and I like that she was honest.
Yeah.
And then she gradually started to become more aware that she needed a backbone. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
And then on season 2, because she had a great experience from Koons being well, not horrible, but he was just not great. Okay. In this kind of horrible, it could have been worse. However, he was not great.
I mean, he wasn't like a bad person.
He wasn't like a bad person, but
the thing at all. It's just that sometimes on certain levels, things just don't click.
And his problem was communication, and everything was within the, but I don't wanted you to be worried about me. And I was like, you're in a relationship, in a committed relationship. You were like for a couple of years together already, I believe. Mm-hmm. So why aren't you more open?
Also, the fact that he didn't support her at first for her promotion or her little career switch that she wanted to do within the company.
Yes.
I'm like, how dare you?
Yes, that's another thing that we didn't like.
No.
So at that stage, I think that she started to realize that, and then I think that for the second season we see a full grown-up Yumi that she caught onto the red flags,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then even though it hurts because she shows how much it hurt to be aware that the person you loved is not who you thought it was,
Yeah.
So I like how she would put the puzzle together, and towards the end she tried, but it just wasn't clicking anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just not the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like how that, and then how she refocused everything on her career. And honestly, she was thriving in her career. She wasn't great with love. But, I mean, you can't win all. And that's life.
Girl boss.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Career woman, no love, but girl, stay single. You're better single. You mean...
Get that coin.
I wonder if they're going to do a season 3.
I mean, I feel like they should.
I want to know because I still haven't read the webtoon, so I should maybe read the webtoon. But we'll see about it.
Knowing myself, I will not read the webtoon.
You're not into webtoons. I love webtoons. No. I'm wishing that they do a drama for the remarried empress or something.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah.
I have even the amazing cast for it. I have it all in my head, but let's not talk about it. Let's just let's just stay within our. It's okay not to have a happy ending topic. Now let's move to a recent drama I've watched. So we're talking about The Interest of Love. Okay, this is a recent drama. I think it was from December to February. Yeah, on Netflix. A bit of background: it was directed by Jo Young-mi and written by Lee Hyuk-jin, which is based on the novel, and then the directors were Lee Soo-hyung and Lee Hyun-jung. It's another JTBC drama because it's either TVN or JTBC apparently.
JTBC does a lot of police dramas as well.
Yes, they do. So, this drama we're talking about a love story, in an office love story basically. So all these people work in a bank, okay? They have kind of a bit of a crush on each other or whatever. And yeah, I like that these drama in specific shows how it's okay to have just a basic, ordinary life. Because they were all kind of basic and ordinary lives, They all 9 to 5, wasn't the best job, but paid the bills. Some of them had a better position in the work. Some of them.
That's 80% of the world.
Yeah.
Of the workforce.
Yeah, so it's they just wanted, a few of the characters who wanted an ordinary life. They just didn't want anything too big. They just wanted sort of solid ground to live. Mm-hmm. And that's normal actually. I like that. And then you have the characters that she just didn't think that love was a priority. Okay? So let's talk about the characters. So we have, again, our boy Yoo Yeon-suk, as Ha Sung-soo, and this stands without a mustache. And we have Moon Ka-young as An Soo-young.
Girl, that's the same person? Oh my god, I didn't recognize him.
Oh my god. How dare you?
Girl, a mustache can really make or break a face. My goodness. I'm not saying that he's ugly. I'm just saying, if he brought the mustache back, I wouldn't be mad about it.
I love him with or without mustache. He's also in a hospital playlist, okay?
Girl, I need to look him up because, oh my god.
He is really good. He was also in one of the replies.
Good on him.
So yeah, so here we have Ka-young's a character. She's like, look, love doesn't last forever. My parents are living proof of that. So childhood trauma. So yeah,
relatable.
But she kind of feels smitten and a bit excited about Yoo Young-suk's character Sang-soo, because he's like a normal, regular dude, and he was like, look, I like you. You know?
She saw him in Mrs. Sunshine and it was sold. She's gonna hide all the razors.
It's again the mustache.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, anyways, in this, I feel like this drama keeps it, fairly real, because they all had a fairly ordinary life. 9 to 5, sometimes you go for a drink, sometimes you just take bad decisions, and you try to make up for those bad decisions, but you messed up even more, and who hasn't been in that position? You know,
just, you
can
only try.
So in the case of Moon Ka-young's character, Soo-young's was an oddly self-destructive character that I have not seen that much in K-dramas. Her character did not care about what to do because she wanted to get to the objective, but she didn't want to talk about it. So imagine this. I want to break up with you and I don't want him anymore. So I'm going to fake that I'm going to sleep with someone else that is neither of you. Everyone will believe that I'm horrible. And I take off. Literally take off. Like disappear.
It sounds like a win-win.
So she doesn't have to deal with the breakup issue. She doesn't have to deal with the conversation. She just have to handle all the drama and then just disappear. Literally, train ticket. Sounds very familiar. I've known a couple of people.
That's my life. You don't like it? Move countries. It's fine.
She moved regions. Yeah. She moved regions, and then, at the end of this story, 5 years later, she sort of like becomes a small coffee shop owner, by the way.
Oh my, this is written to my life.
So she becomes a small coffee shop owner. And it happens that Sang-soo's, it's now the manager of a new branch at the bank. And then she needs to get a credit because, girl, if you set up a business, you're gonna need a credit if you don't have the down payment, okay? She goes there, but she goes to a very far branch, but he ends up being in that branch. They kind of meet again. However, they're like, well, we saw each other. That is what it is. It's still unclear if they end up together or not, but based on the end, no. Which honestly makes sense, There was like a lot happening. And that is the interest of love. It's interesting.
I feel like I should watch it now. Did they read my journals?
Yeah. So I think that's the last drama we wanted to end. And I think that we are seeing a growth when it comes to productions and storylines and character development, which I actually am enjoying a lot as a fan for probably over 10 years now. Yeah, so let us know which one is your favorite drama that keeps it real, and sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes, and remember to follow us at thekmeal.com. These reviews for all these dramas actually are on the K-meal, so go and check that out.
Nice.
And we'll see you next time with a new episode of What a K-Drama. Bye-bye.
Bye.